That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Howdy folks, welcome to our first video. This was not going to be our first video, but it is our first video because we were using Telstra Velocity as our internet service, and it was dreadfully slow. So we were getting less than a megabit a second upload speed. We tried uploading a few videos, didn't work, nothing really worked. Things kept dropping out, we had to re-upload. It was an absolute nightmare. Now, for those of you who are using Telstra Velocity, you will realize that Telstra Velocity is in fact very slow and very expensive. Our last internet service provider offered us, well, we used to get 100 megabit down and 20 megabit speed up for $70 a month. We moved to a new house where Telstra had a monopoly and they only offered Velocity, and it was $95 a month, and it was like, I don't know, 20 something megabits down and less than 1 megabit a second up. So it was really pretty tough. But they had a monopoly, so they didn't care. So anyway, we decided to go online. We looked around, nothing else was available except for satellite. So we went and got satellite. And in fact, I think we'll stick with satellite even if some of the other providers catch up, because we now have Starlink for homes, $139 a month. It's a bit expensive, but we're going to be using it a lot, so it's worthwhile. And I think if it's reliable, you know, it makes sense. $5.99. We got a $2.99 refurbished dish, so that was good. And if we go down here, I'll show you a couple of things. Look, it really is plug it in, point it at the sky. If we go down here, this is what's in the box. Basically, your dish, your cable. It's a 75-foot cable. It was a tiny bit short for us, but we just relocated our router a little bit and it was fine. AC cable to plug into the router. The base used just to kind of test it. We had already installed a wall mount outside, so we just went and plonked it straight on, and we didn't need to test it. It just all worked straight out of the box. A couple of things we did do though. This router has really weak Wi-Fi. It has pretty weak Wi-Fi. All right, so if you've got cameras on the outside of your house or something like we do, it becomes a bit of a problem. So what we did was we got this Ethernet adapter. The Ethernet adapter, basically you plug your satellite dish into that, then you come out of this into your router, and then you come out of this with your Cat 6 or your Cat 5, your Ethernet cable. You come out of that and plug that into, in our case, we plugged that straight into our Telstra modem. So we disconnected our Telstra cable, we plugged the cable in that was coming out of this Ethernet adapter, plugged that straight into the Telstra modem. And what we did was we kind of tricked it. When we set up our Starlink network, we called it exactly the same thing as our Telstra network with the same password. And when we did that, we didn't know this was going to work, but it worked a treat. We instantly had access to everything. Our Wi-Fi extenders worked, our Ring cameras worked, everything worked, everyone had access. Worked like a treat. So there you go. We got this short wall mount thing here, and we basically ran our cable just inside under the ridge cap into the ceiling and then down into the studio. So there you go. It was pretty straightforward. You can use your old Telstra modem as a distribution point. Telstra don't want it back. They just told us to take it to the tip. So we're pretty happy that they did that, and we are now in production. In our next video will be our first video where we talk about what the channel's about, and we introduce different people who will be showing you stuff. Thanks for joining us. Catch you later.
That'll do.